Somebody don't know the price when he gave his precious life. And he paid the cost when he died upon the cross.
Lord, when you come to my house, I'm not just inviting you so you can stay the way you are. There are some people who say, God will just accept me as I am. That's actually biblically incorrect. God doesn't want you to stay the way you are. That's why he asks you to come, be baptized, die, be born again, and then let's start all over. I don't like you the way you got sin. You need a bath. I need to wash you. I need to make you whole. I need to make you clean. I don't want you to stay. Do you know God doesn't want you to stay the way you are? He wants you to come like you are, and then he says, now let's go to work. Yeah, that's like somebody who needs a trainer and say the trainer just going to accept me the way that I am. No, we get to work out. We hit and then you came with the wrong shoes. You're going to hurt today. I'm coming. You're coming to change. So he says, as you're on your way to the mountain, you're inviting the people, and then he says, the people who invite, come. He's going to teach us his what? He's going to teach us his ways, and we're going to walk in his paths. There's two important things that you don't understand when you get to the house. He's going to teach us his ways. That word that you give your family and your friends, where they say, stop trying to change me. There are some things about you that's preventing God from being close to you. That attitude that you have, that chip on your shoulder, that sense that somebody owes you something, or are you mad at the world and now the world owes you, nobody owes you anything. And it was humbling. And I began to realize our attitude, even amongst one another, can hinder our relationship with God, because there's some people who feel like, haven't I done enough for the Lord? Haven't I paid my... You can never pay God back. You can never do enough that'll make God say we're even. How can you say you're even with God? When would God ever give you a pass and say, okay, I now require nothing else from you, done enough? You can spend your whole life and it still won't be enough for how he protected you and guided you and healed you and sent people in your life to lift you up and put you in a better place. He said, this spirit sometimes, though, he's going to teach us his ways. In order to be taught his ways, you got to leave yours. And then he says, we're going to learn how to walk in his path. It's one thing to hear a lesson. I was in school, I was the best listener. I was the best listener. I could listen better than anybody. And I could zoom in. I could really zoom in, I could listen. When it came time for the test, I don't know what happened. Something crazy happened. I didn't understand what happened. And I had 5-7 pages of notes. I was the best listener. I had the ribbon. Like, I was a really, really good listener. But it was something different between me listening and me walking in that way. There was a disconnect. He says, in the house, not only are you going to be taught his way, you're going to learn how to what? You're going to learn how to walk like a Christian. That's why in the Lord's house, we got to be very careful. We got to be very careful how we treat one another in the Lord's house. Because some of you may be jogging with the Lord, and it's blessed because you've been jogging even with the Lord for a minute. There's some of us that are taking baby steps. We're not all walking, and all of us are learning. As a matter of fact, this is supposed to be the house where we all learn how to learn the ways of the Lord and walk like him. And every now and then you're going to fall. But we understand that in the house because this is where you learn. If there's ever a place to learn, then this ought to be the place where you learn. He says, now all of this is going to happen on the top of the mountain above all hills in the house. All nations are going to be flowing to it. Everybody's going to be inviting everybody up into the house. And we're going to sit and be taught and we're going to learn how to be like God.
Somebody just don't know.